one more time. Come on, bless them like you're happy to see another decade. You got 30% happy to see another decade. Somebody didn't make it into 2020, but God allowed you to make it into 2020. And I wouldn't dare do the same stuff I was doing in 2019. In 2020, expecting different results. If you didn't praise Him in 2019, you got a chance to praise Him in 2020. If you didn't get what you wanted in 2019, you got a chance to get what you need in 2020. So you want to praise Him like you're looking for something. Whether you know it or not, you made it. For some, that means a little bit more than the others, but just talk to yourself and say, self, I made it. Somebody called it. Somebody called it. I made it. And I got news for the enemy. You should have took me out when you had me down. You should have took me out when you was playing with my mind. But since you let me make it, I got a reason to. Some of y'all might not have had a 2019 like I did. But when I saw 2020, I just had a reason to praise Him for making it over. Because I remember times in 2019 I shouldn't have made it. I was down to my last. But when the Lord let me wake up to see 2020, I said the things I used to do, I just can't do. I thought we were happy to be here. I thought we were happy to be here. Anybody just happy for having your right mind in 2020? Anybody happy for just having your right mind? I'm trying to give y'all a chance to get it out. Some people didn't have a watch night service. So you didn't get a chance to celebrate when the New Year struck. But if you're just happy to be here, because people are still leaving even in 2020. But somehow, some way, God allowed your time to keep on ticking. And if you can do anything that you didn't do in 2019, I dare you to start it off with a praise. If you start this Sunday off with a praise, and then you start next Sunday off with a praise, I guarantee you 2020. I promise you I'm about to move on. My goodness. I'm gonna move on real quick, but find you a neighbor real quick. Find you a neighbor, look, they happy they made it in 2020. Find you a neighbor that looks happy. And say, neighbor, I shouldn't be looking this good. After all the hell I went through in 2019. Oh, but God kept me. Him. Come on and bless Him like you're happy. Bless the Lord one more time.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Moving right along as the Spirit allows. We honor and we reverence God, our Savior, our pastor in his absence, to everyone here who makes up the church. He's good. He's real good. Some folks will look at you funny. Some might even say, don't take all that. But they could have been a fly on the wall. And
Jesus! Thank you, Lord God. For real. My God.
He saw the nights that you were up and couldn't sleep. And
Jesus.
the times when you were hurt. And the times when the enemy had your mind, playing with your mind. Then and only then would they understand what your praise is coming from. The reason why our praises look so different is because our trials are different. Your praise might not look like mine because you ain't went through what I went through. Your praise may not look like mine because I didn't get to stay up all night long, but you went through it. And because you went through it and he brought you out, your praise looks a little bit different than mine. But whether it looks different or not, we all got a reason to praise him. Oh my God. This is a good atmosphere to get your breakthrough. Great atmosphere to get your breakthrough. Because whether you know it or not, the Spirit is already here. Let me move along, man. God. My God, my God. Hallelujah, Jesus. Grateful people in the house. My goodness. Let me move along, man. Let me try to anyway. If you have your Bibles, we're going to be coming from Mark 5. My God.
My Lord. Thank you, Lord God.
Mark 5:25. You don't have to stand if you don't like. If you don't want to. I got a good bit of reading I got to cover. But if you want to stand and honor the word, that's on you. Mark 5, we'll start at 25 and go to 34. I tell you, he'll fill you up if you let him.
Yes, he will.
My God. Mark 5:25, starting at verse 25. If you have it, say amen. Amen. I'm reading from the New Living Translation, so it might read a little different from yours. And it reads, a woman in the crowd had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding. She had suffered a great deal from many doctors, and over the years she had spent everything she had to pay them. But she had gotten no better. In fact, she had gotten worse. She had heard about Jesus, so she came up behind him through the crowd and touched his robe. For she thought to herself, if I can just touch his robe, I will be healed. Immediately the bleeding stopped, and she could feel in her body that she had been healed of her terrible condition. Jesus realized at once that healing power had gone out from him, so he turned around in the crowd and asked, who touched my robe? His disciples said to him, look at this crowd pressing around you. How can you ask who touched me? But he kept on looking around to see who had done it. Then the frightened woman, trembling at the realization of what had happened to her, came and fell to her knees in front of him and told him what she had done. And he said to her, daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Your suffering is over.
Thank you, Lord God. Thank you, Lord God.
For a title, if I can, I would like to tag it at Lord, make me whole. Lord, make me whole. I dare you to say it. Say, Lord,
Lord,
make me whole.
make me whole.
Say it like you mean it. Say, Lord,
Lord,
make me whole.
make me whole. Thank you, Lord God.
Y'all making it hard for a preacher. Make me whole. We've often heard this passage preached, and I want to look at it from a different aspect. But first of all, I want to talk about a few things that God has laid on my heart tied to this message. And I heard Quez talking about earlier about the mental health. And Quez, the thing about it is, like you said, the church, people need to reach out from the church. And the reason why the church can't help us is because the church can't stop judging in order to help. The church could help if there was a judgment-free zone and somebody just took it in and helped you, but the church is so caught up on getting it and spreading the word, getting it and telling somebody else, did you know so-and-so was going through? If you just listen and help, the world will be a whole lot better. But you know, one thing I noticed is people feel like if you come to church, you're not supposed to go through that. Or if you come to church regularly, it's something that we've got our minds wrapped around off of years of things we've seen. We feel like if you just come to church regularly, you got it all together. If you just come to church every Sunday, you're supposed to be good. And then we look at the ones who come to church every other Sunday like they ain't got it all together. But we come to church every Sunday, messed up, tore up, ripped up, on the bottom, but we feel like we got it together. And we raise our nose up at the ones who come every now and then. But the only difference is you get to repent more frequently. Y'all missed that one. We come every Sunday, Sunday after Sunday. We feel like just because we show up in the church, we did God a favor. Just because we made it in the building, we did God a favor. One thing I hate people saying is, I came and give God his time. Did you not know all his time? All the time is his time? I gave God 2 hours a day. I gave him his time. But did you not know all time is his time? He is time. How can you give a man who is time 2 hours and expect to give him his time? You mean to tell me you gave time some time? Come on.
Make it plain, make it plain.
But this is the type of stuff that religion has got us caught up in.
Right.
You know, God gave me a definition for religion. I promise you I'm moving along. He said religion is when you give the preacher your hand, but you don't give God your heart.
Whoa.
We've gotten so caught up in walking up and saying, I'm saved, I want to be saved, but we shake the preacher's hand, but we never seek after God's heart. So the problem is, and the disconnect is, we gave the preacher our hand, but we never gave God our heart, so therefore we see no reason to seek after his. Oh my goodness. Wow. That might have been a little too heavy. Let me move along. Oh, Jesus Christ. Looking at the passage of scripture, y'all looked at me like I cussed. Looking at the passage of scripture, Mark 5:25, we're talking about the one with the issue of blood. Mark 5:25, look at the first verse. He said, a woman in the crowd has suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding. She had suffered a great deal from many doctors, and over the years she has spent everything she had to pay them, but she had gotten no better. In fact, she even got worse. So you mean to tell me she went to the ones who were supposed to help her and still got no help? In fact, she got worse? What are you trying to say? We need to stop going to these people that we call our friends and go to the one who is a friend. A lot of times we rely on what we know and what we're comfortable with, and then we end up in the same situation and wonder why it got worse. But if you would have turned to the man who said, cast your cares upon me. Okay, God, almighty. I'm getting hot, y'all. The thing is, we look to what we're comfortable with and what we're used to doing. And God spoke to me. He said, in this season, in 2020, I won't allow you to be comfortable because I need to get more out of you. So the things that you used to be comfortable with, God said, You don't have to leave them alone. In 2020, I'll take them from you. He said the things that you used to rely on, you used to be comfortable with, he said, you don't have to worry about it in 2020. You don't have to release it, they'll release you. That job that you're comfortable with, but you know there's more, he said, don't be surprised if they lay you off. That friend that you used to depend on all your life, but then they just automatically just somehow just stop, they stop appearing out of the blue. He said, don't worry about it, they let you go. Since you wouldn't let them go, he said, they let you go. I will not allow you to be comfortable in 2020 and expect something different. God said, if I got to do what I got to do, you will be better in 2020. You will grow in 2020. Even if I got to pluck it out of your hands, you will.
Yes.
We gotten so comfortable doing what we used to doing and relying on what we used to rely on. But God said enough is enough. I'm tired of on the surface Christians.
Whoa. Surface.
I went to a watch night service on New Year's Eve and the evangelist spoke. He said, God is tired of us skating on the surface. He said in 2020, your next level is going to be connected to you going deeper.
That's right.
You're wondering why you're not getting anymore, but you're still skating on the surface. God said in 2020, in order for you to get more from me, I need you to go just a little bit deeper. That praise is okay, but what are you praising him for? You shouted hallelujah, but what are you praising him for? You're talking, but what are you walking? Oh my goodness. He said, I need you to go just a little bit deeper. And the thing about it, if you look at this, the lady went to someone who she thought could help her, and they made it worse. God spoke to me. He said, I don't need anybody diagnosing me if it's not anything you specialize in. She went to the doctor, but were they a blood doctor? Did they specialize in what she was going through? God said, you got to stop letting people tell you what's wrong with you if they hadn't even been through what you're going through. You got people telling you what your problem is, but they ain't never even went through a problem. You got people telling you what to do, but they don't even know what to do themselves. Stop letting people put their mouths on your situation if they ain't never been through nothing. Y'all don't want to hear this type of stuff. You got folks diagnosing you and they don't even specialize in what you've been through. They can't even compare to what you went through. They don't even know what hurt feels like, but they're telling you what to do. You should do this and you should do that. Do you even know what hurt feels like? Do you even know what it feels like to be behind? Do you even know what it feels like to be at your bottom, at your worst, at your lowest? You can't tell me if you haven't been through it yourself. Let me rephrase that. You can tell me, but it ain't going to be effective. Because until you went through something, you can't tell me how to get out of it. Then, it said it got worse. Then it said she heard about Jesus. So she came up behind him through the crowd and touched his robe. Look at that part before the comment says she heard about Jesus. Notice it didn't say she had a relationship with him. She just heard about him. So what does that say about us who have a relationship with him?
Wow.
She got what she needed because she heard about him. And when she heard about him, her desperation created a desire. She said she's been trying everybody else. Everybody else has let her down. So she heard about this man named Jesus. And because she heard about him, she said, if I could just touch the hem of his garment. Let me stop. She heard about him. No relationship required. She just heard about him. And because she heard about him, she heard the man had what she needed. So because she knew he had what she needed, she said, I have to press my way. Think about this. This woman had a disease or condition for 12 years. So by this time, she had to be down, or she had to be worried, or she had to be hurt or uncomfortable. But somehow, some way, she pressed her way to get what she needed. Imagine being sick for 12 years. We're not talking about 12 days or 12 hours or 12 months. We're talking about 12 years Imagine going everywhere to get help and no one could help you. And then suddenly she heard about a man. And because she heard about his power, she said, I have to get to him. So what does that say about us with relationships who come to church every Sunday and hear about a man and still don't know how to access the man? What does that say about us who come to church Sunday after Sunday, the preacher telling us what to do, this to do, this is how you get to the man. We hear it Sunday after Sunday, but we still haven't went to meet that man. All it took was one time for her to hear about the man, and she knew because he had what she needed, she had to get to him. Could it be that we've heard about him, but we just don't know what he possesses? If you knew for yourself that he had everything you needed, wouldn't you press your way too? Oh my goodness. The man who has all power in his hand can heal the sick, can raise the dead, and some of us still don't want to see him. Some of us still don't want to meet him. Some of us still haven't strived to get to know him. But with her, all it took was her hearing about a man. And she said, if I can just touch. She was so desperate, she created a desire. And when you're searching for God, there has to be a desire to actually find him. We're searching with no desire. I tell you what we're doing. We're coming to church just to be coming to church. We're sitting here just to be sitting here. But if you're looking for God, there has to be a want. There has to be a need. You have to go intentionally looking for him. We come to church every Sunday unintentional. I'm not talking about you stumbled in. That's another kind of unintentional. I'm talking about we come to church not intending to see him. I've said it before, but why would you come to his house and not even introduce yourself? That flew over somebody's head. Why would you come to his party and not even bring a gift? Why would you come to his house and not even look for him? I'm going to tell you, when you come to my house and just sit there, it's going to be some problems. Because first of all, you came into my house, and never even looked for me, and you didn't even announce yourself when you got there. We come to church every Sunday in his house, sitting here, not even letting him know that we're here, that we're grateful, that we appreciate him, but yet we expect God to do something for us Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. Whether you know it or not, he did something this Sunday. He woke you up this morning. He started you on your way. He gave you the activities of your limbs. You want me to keep going? He had your family live on. He healed your body. He kept you in your right mind. He brought you in safe and sound. Do I need to keep going?
We good.
Lord, just make me whole. I'm almost done now. Y'all don't even know it. She said, if I can just touch his robe, I will be healed. And look at the next word. Immediately. Immediately, the bleeding stopped. You mean to tell me she got a healing instantly by touching his robe? Man, I come to serve. Notice a lot of this stuff we've been waiting on, a lot of this stuff we've been looking for. God said, if you just trust me, I can do it immediately. I guess don't nobody need no immediate blessing. I'm going to tell you what, my finances been hit so many times, I need an immediate blessing. I've been down so many times, I need an immediate blessing. But if you ain't never heard or you ain't never been through nothing, you don't need God to show up immediately. I don't know what to tell you, but when I'm going through, I don't need God to show up weeks later or days later. I need my God to show up immediately. And some people, I know that the old saying, he may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. But if you trust in that man and you call on that man and you call on that man and you call on that man, I promise you, he'll show up immediately if you need him. I'm not telling you something I heard, I'm telling you something I know. When I was down to my last and I needed somebody, God showed up immediately. I'm not telling you something I've heard about. I tried it for myself. He showed up immediately. Immediately the bleeding stopped. And she could feel in her body that she had been healed of her terrible condition. But look at this. She got her healing because of her pressing. She got what she needed because she pressed her way. Some of us are standing in need, but we won't press. Every time we get hit, we stop. When you press, that means I'm going whether I feel like it or I don't. When you press, that means I'm going whether I get hit with something or if I get knocked down. I got to get back up because I'm pressing my way because I need something. And the enemy can't keep me from what I need. Her healing was behind her pressing. And her pressing required that she had to do something. Required that she had to do something. So what are you saying, preacher? We can ask for prayer all day long and ask people to pray for us all day long, but sooner or later you got to do something. You can ask for somebody to pray for you, but sooner or later you got to roll your sleeves up and do some work. Somebody can pray for you, but I need to see you on your knees first praying for you. Somebody else can pray for you, but I need to see you calling on the name of Jesus first. Just so I know you can get a prayer through you. When 2 or 3 get together, he got to do something. She had to press. And because of her pressing, she was healed of her terrible condition. I'm going to skip down a little bit farther. The next verse says, Jesus realized the healing power came away from him. His disciples said to him, look at this crowd. How can you ask who touched me? Paraphrasing, going along, but he kept on looking around to see who had done it. Then the frightened woman, trembling at the realization that had happened to her, came and fell on her knees in front of him and told him what she had done and said to her daughter, he said, daughter, relationship. You mean to tell me she only heard about him, but he already accepted him into the family?
Yes.
Somebody said, how was she already a member of the family? Let's read on. He says, daughter, your faith has made you well. The other translation said has made you whole. So if she only heard about him, the action and the effort behind her pressing showed that she had some type of faith. And God said, because I see your faith, he said, I can accept you into my family. So in order to have some type of faith, there had to be some type of relationship. They didn't talk about it, but I'm crazy enough to believe that lady had some type of relationship with him, because it's impossible to believe in him if you ain't never spent no time with him. But look at this though. A lot of us would have stopped at the healing. All right. Because we said, now I feel better, so now I'm good. Right. But because she came back, honored him by falling to her knees. He says, daughter, your faith has made you whole. The reason why some of us stop at the healing, because our faith cannot make us whole. Somebody said, what are you talking about? The reason we stop at our healing because your faith isn't strong enough to make you whole. Some of us settle with just the healing. But it was not her, it wasn't her pressing that got her whole. Her pressing got her healed. But it was her faith that made her whole. So a lot of us stop with the pressing after the pressing because we're healed and we feel better. But if you want to be whole and not just healed, you need some faith behind that. So she got her healing. And she didn't leave. She came back, fell to her knees, admitted what she had done. And God said, because of your faith, you have been made well, or you have been made whole. Some of us have been wondering what it is, but we've been waking up or going day to day and something has been missing. You say, God, I'm seeking you, but it's not getting better. Or I'm doing this, but it's not getting better. God said that's because you're healed. You're not whole yet.
Word.
He said, you're healed and you are doing better. But I need your faith to strengthen, so I need you to be whole. We're wondering what's missing. Have anybody ever been there before?
Yes.
You're seeking God and you're doing this and you're doing everything the right way. You feel like but it's still something missing. And God said that something is, you've been healed, but I desire to make you whole. And somebody said, what does whole mean? Whole means there's nothing lacking or nothing missing. That means you're complete. And the only way you can be complete is if you got the man who can fill the void. And the only way you can truly have that man who can fill the void is by having faith in that man. We press and we do our part to become healed, but God said in 2020, I want to make you whole. When I say I make you whole, I don't want you to have to lack for anything. I don't want you to have to beg for anything. I don't want you to have to borrow for anything, because when I make you whole, I will make you complete. And when you complete in me, you have everything that you need. And then look at the next, look at the next one. And I promise I'm going. Look at the next part. He said, go in peace. This is a shouting part right here. He said, your suffering is over.
Yes. Thank you, Lord God. It's over.
She got healed. Her faith made her whole. And now her suffering is gone. She got healed. Her faith made her whole. Now her suffering is over. She got healed. Her faith made her whole. And now there's no more suffering. You don't see the connect? She did her part to get her healing. She did her part to become whole. And God said, because you did your part, now your suffering is over. We want God to take the suffering away, but you ain't doing your part. We want God to end it all, but you ain't doing your part. God said, I need you to do something first. I need you to press your way to get your healing. I need you to believe in me to become whole. And if you do that, I guarantee your suffering will be over. Your suffering will be over if you desire to be whole. Because truth be told, it's a desire. You have to desire to be whole. He's not just going to make you whole and complete you if you don't want it. He's not going to put anything on you that you don't want. But since you've already been pressing and you've already gotten your healing, I dare you to believe in him just a little bit more so that he can make you whole. And after he makes you whole, why not let him take away the suffering? Somebody said the suffering was too much for me to handle anyway. I tried to handle the suffering, and I almost had a nervous breakdown. I tried to handle the suffering, and I almost lost my mind. I tried to handle the suffering, but it kept me up at night. Can anybody relate to that? I tried to handle the suffering, but I had sleepless nights. I tried to handle the suffering, but no one understood but me. I tried to handle the suffering. Nobody I turned to can understand. Nobody I turned to can relate. I tried to handle the suffering. But sooner or later, it got bigger than I could handle. And because it's bigger than I can handle, now I have to give it to God. The woman was desperate. She had been sick for 12 long years. Everybody she thought could help couldn't help her. So sooner or later, you got to get desperate. And the problem is some of us just aren't desperate enough. Because when you've been down long enough, and when you've been hurt long enough, and when you've been feeling low and discouraged or depressed or suffering from whatever long enough, sooner or later that desperation should turn into a desire to want to know him. You've been empty. You've been waiting for him. But you have to first desire him. And me and my wife was talking about this at home. You seek, your level of seeking depends on how important it is to you. You ever lost something that was really important and you almost tore the house up looking for it? Because you knew I need whatever it is that I lost. So because you needed it, you sought after it that much harder. And you didn't stop until you found whatever it was you needed. You looked and you looked and you looked and you tore up everything to find exactly what it was you needed. Because it was just that important to you. So I ask you this question: how important is it to find that man named Jesus? Some of us have stopped looking. Some of us have stopped seeking. But if it's really important to you, I dare you to keep looking for him. I dare you to keep seeking after him. I dare you to keep looking for him. I dare you to keep seeking after him. If it's really important to you, don't give up. Keep looking up. If it's really important to you. And some of us have stopped seeking. And that shows us right there just how important it is, or he is to us. But if you can't live without him, and you realize you need him every step of the way, and every single day, keep seeking him. Don't just settle with giving the preacher your hand. Give him your heart. And once you give him your heart, then you'll want to seek after his heart.
My Lord. Word.
But first of all, he needs your heart. And if he has your heart on today, and I'm headed to my seat, if he truly has your heart, the only thing left to give him is your praise and worship. Because honestly, that's the only thing we have left to give. The money is already his. And we say we've given our heart and our soul to him. So the only thing we have left to give is our praise and our worship. So today, if he has your heart like you say he does, why not lift your hands and give him a praise?
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord God.
And if he's been good to you, tell him just how good he's been. If you appreciate him, just tell him how much you appreciate him. If he's done anything for him, just tell him thank you. It is something about when you begin to praise, that praise gets personal, and then it begins to become a worship. And when you're worshiping him, it's an intimate process. And it's just you and him from now on. So if you know him to be good, and you know him to be a healer, you know him to be your deliverer, I dare you to open your mouth and worship him like he's done all that for you. I dare you to open your mouth and begin to talk to him like he's been good to you. I dare you to open your mouth like you're grateful. I dare you to open your mouth like you appreciate him. Please don't make this a routine thing. Just doing it out of the habit. But if he's really been good to you, this is just another opportunity for you to tell him thank you. This is just another opportunity for you to worship his name. God, we thank you on today. God, we thank you that you didn't let us leave. You didn't leave us in 2019. Because truth be told, God, all the stuff we went through, Lord, you could have easily left us in 2019. But God, somehow, some way, Lord, you let my life keep on going and you let my time keep on ticking. And God, for that, I have to tell you, thank you. Because what could have took me out? What could have killed me? What could have took my mind? What could have took my family? What could have took my friends has only made me stronger.
Yes, thank you, God. Thank you,
It has
God.
only increased my praise.
Hallelujah.
It has only given me a deeper desire to worship you. It has only made me better as a Christian. It has only made me better as a follower. It has only made me better as a brother. It has only made me better as a minister. It has only made me better as a sister, as a mother. It has only made me better, God. And for that, I have to tell you, thank you. Because God, truth be told, when I lost my mind, I thought it was over. Truth be told, God, when I was struggling, I thought it was over. Truth be told, God, when I felt that hurt or that pain, Lord, I thought it was over. Lord, but somehow, some way, Lord, you reached way down. And Lord, you picked me up. Lord, not only did you pick me up, Lord, but you fixed me up. Lord, not only did you fix me up, Lord, but you set me up. And Lord, when you set me up, God, you said there's greater in store for me. And God, I'm trusting you for greater right now, God. And God, we thank you right now. God, we thank you. And Lord, we bless you right now in advance for what our 2020 is going to look like. We praise you in advance for what we're expecting in 2020. Lord, we praise you in advance right now for what we're expecting our 2020 to look like. Somebody will get it after a while if they're expecting anything in 2020. God, I'm praising you right now for what my 2020 is going to look like. Because, Lord, I've been down long enough. And, Lord, I've been suffering long enough. But, God, I said I'm going to press my way. Because I need my healing, God. And I'm going to believe in you, God, because I want to be made whole. And, Lord, once you make me whole, God, take away the suffering, God. Take away the pain, God. Take away the hurt, God. And, God, right now, I throw up my hands. Show that I surrender everything to you. All of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the depression, everything that was in 2019, God, I give it to you and I refuse to take it with me in 2020. I refuse to carry it with me in 2020. I refuse to let this burden stay on my back in 2020. God, we thank you right now. And God, we bless your name. We bless your name, God. We bless your name, God. Lord, we bless your name right now, God. Lord, we bless your name right now, God. God, we thank you right now, God. We thank you, God. Father, we love you. We bless your name. We thank you for sending your son, Jesus. And Lord, in everything we do, we'll be careful to give your name all the glory, honor, and the praise. For in Jesus' name we do pray. Amen and amen. Lord, at this time we open the doors of the church.